Wait, what?
All right, guys. Mrs. Bradford should be joining us here shortly, so we'll get that rolling. Go with my announcements real quick so that Joe can also hear it. Okay, so announcement list got a little bigger this week. Again, if you're doing any informational essay corrections for Friday, make sure you have that turned in for Friday. I don't know if people want to do that or not, but that's still an option if you want to do that. Resumes and references review Friday. You can go ahead and put your references right on your resume. This route going to grade your actual resume. And then we have some Bradford today. I have one more guest speaker on Friday, but that will be in the afternoon, so that'll be a next week thing. Schedules are due to Mr. Davis today. Now, I did have a couple people approach me this morning and say, my mom or dad forgot to sign my schedule. I really don't think Mr. Davis is going to care if you turn it in tomorrow, but don't keep waiting to do it because we need to get turned in so you can start fitting you in for next year for high school. Okay, I'm from the track meet tonight for my track people. I'm going to take pictures and stuff. So if you can help me out a little bit tonight, if you are in between events and stuff and you're like, oh, hey, this kid is, throwing discus right now, or hey, this kid's pole vaulting right now. Help me out. I'm going to wander around the whole time and stuff, but help me out. Some people are doing things. I'll go over and take the pictures when we get a ton of pictures tonight. There's lots of track people. So yeah, so it's going to be awesome night to run track and stuff tonight. It'll be amazing weather. So
I don't even do track.
I was saying, I didn't think you did. So I was like, wow.
I'm excited for you.
Well, this is like your first junior high track meet, right?
Yeah.
It
was
was
last year.
Yeah, it's so funny to think of this, yeah, so that's so funny. That it's your first one. Guys, anything for me? No Bradford's on. Perfect, all right.
I can't believe you forgot. No, it's really.
Mrs. Brown, I have a question. When you say any questions, can I ask Timmy's mom if she wants to be my reference?
You can do that. You can do that, so.
Anybody, really.
Okay, that's not a bad idea, Evan, that you can actually ask some friends' parents and stuff, so, yeah.
Now I have 3 references.
Let's do that at the end of the interview today, but yes, that's a good one, so, yeah. I didn't think about that, but yeah, you guys can ask friends' parents, so, okay.
I'll say, that is it hard with being oil.
God bless you.
Most not. Oil.
I can only shoot 3s when I'm not in.
I know.
In practice, I'm lighting it up.
Good morning.
I'm in.
Good morning. I think you need to turn your audio on yet. Oh, it says you're connecting now, so. Yeah, I can't hear you yet, so it says it was connecting to audio and then there goes the video, so.
There we go.
Okay, I can hear you, and now I need you to turn your video on, so.
All right, let me. Oops. It's telling me to tap when I speak. Shoot.
Is there a little video camera at the bottom of your screen there?
Yeah, I'm on my phone, so
Oh,
I'm
you're on your
having.
phone, okay.
Yeah, just a minute. For some reason, it's not letting me do both. That's so weird.
Oh, there you go.
There, good?
There we go. We're good. Yeah, that's awesome. So how are you?
Good, how are you?
Too bad. So we are just waiting on the announcements to come on, and then we'll get with our interview today. But thanks so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem.
We'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay.
All right, anything else exciting going on today? Distract me. There are a lot of teams. There are a lot of teams tonight.
Yeah.
You're bluffing.
Van Lou.
Yeah.
I might know some people.
I remember I was at a swimming pool one year with my cousin, and some girl was roasting me because I didn't know what Van Lou was. She was like, "Oh my god."
A lot of people don't know what Van Lou is.
Exactly. And I'm
If
like,
you said Van, I'm gonna think of Van Buren. Yeah, Van Buren is
Right.
like.
Which you can imagine, because I was at Van Lou, Brian's at Van Buren, that was a completely annoying for 10 years, because like, what school do you teach at? Oh my gosh.
But you're not cheering, you're cheering for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true.
I'm like Mrs. Miller yesterday saying that when we play out Seagull, she's gonna cheer for us. She doesn't know if she'll cheer for us.
But it doesn't make sense because her kids are like 4 and they're not in on grade, so like she has no one to cheer.
Yeah, she'll have a while till. I think Melanie from like first or second.
well, I would understand if like we were going up against Mrs. Miller's kid or something. Like I would understand, but like. I
She
don't
said she's
know.
gonna do a Mrs. Keys. She said she should wear like hot Seagull stuff to school and everything like that. But she wore Eastwood stuff, so it's worse.
Yeah.
I remember Mrs. Keys wore.
You said like in the.
Yeah.
Yo, I remember. I hated what she did.
Yeah.
Eastwood shirts on.
That was the hardest part of when we play each other, like Brian and I didn't know where to sit, so. Brian sit in the middle.
Sit in student section.
Yeah. First world problem.
This is even where East Coast stuff though.
Let's work the game, don't run to school. Like, she'd have it in like her like pants with her belt and then tucked in, and she would just wear Eastwood stuff on her.
Mrs. Keys used to tell us not to talk at all, but then she would put all the boys in the back corner and expect us not to talk.
Or like put a bobby pin in her hair. She said, I wait until your beauty shop is over.
Yeah, I was.
She told me there was dead bodies in her cabinet.
Yeah, she like you're really. And she has these like dangling bracelets, and you're like, probably like for clips.
Which
And
one?
one day I go on, like, I think she really take them off up there. She's like, and she wears shirts every day. Yeah, I remember
Sorry, it's taken a little while to get the announcements going today. Oh, there it goes. Okay, we'll be right back.
Check out what color guard is before tryout this spring. Bring a friend along. There's no pressure. You'll learn some flag moves, even routine. Hope to see you there. If you have any questions, please see Mrs. Hayes in Bradford. Good luck to our middle school track team as they travel to the Blues for their first track meet, starting at 4:30 for Bell Royal. We look forward to hearing Coach Ronald announce the results tomorrow.
Hey, that was disrespectful.
Hey, short people can hide jump too. All right. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get rolling for the day. So a lot of you know Mrs. Brad. Hey guys, listen up. A lot of you know Mrs. Bradford already, but Mrs. Bradford's going to talk to us today about her profession, and we've been talking about a lot of different professions, obviously, over the past couple of weeks. So, Mrs. Bradford, again, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it. Oh, you're on mute again, I think.
There we go.
Yeah, okay, we're good. So,
Alrighty. Okay.
well, I was just gonna have you start by just talking a little bit about what you do with your job and just what are some of the things that you do on a daily basis?
Okay. I know that everyone saw the video yesterday about me and Carol. That is just a little bit of what I do, and that's not something I usually do on a daily basis. So it was just luck of the draw that day that I was the one that discovered Carol in distress. So, but as the Director of Food Service for Wood County Committee on Aging, I make sure that the food is safe for the clients that we serve. I do all of the menu making. I ensure that if there is someone off for the day, like one of my drivers, like for that instance, or a cook, I'm filling in, I'm helping out where I need to help out. I do all of the ordering. So I order a lot of my food through Gordon Food Service. So I do those orders on a daily basis. But the menu making is the biggest part of my job. And I have a degree in dietetics from BGSU. And I received that degree after I graduated from high school. I went to BGSU and got that degree. But then in August of 2018, I also earned my gerontology degree, master's in gerontology. So, and anybody know what gerontology is?
I know. That's a no.
That's a no. Colton should know. That is the study of aging in older adults. So once I had been in my position that I'm currently in, I decided that it was probably a good idea to go back to school and learn more about the people that I'm serving on a daily basis. I've been with the agency for 21 years. And before then, I was working as a dining service, food service manager at BGSU in their dining services program. And I had worked with older adults in the past, and I grew up living next to my grandparents. So I enjoyed older adults. I knew that that was probably something I wanted to do. So when this position opened up, I applied for it. And 21 years later, I'm still here. So I enjoy what I do. I think the best thing about it is I know that I'm helping individuals to stay in their homes. And what our agency does, our mission of the agency is to provide older adults programs and services to keep them in their homes independently and safely. So so we provide such things as medical transportation. If someone needs to get to the doctor's office, we have a medical transport driver. We have a food service department where we are currently providing about 750 home delivered meals throughout the county every day, Monday through Friday. And those are to not only homebound individuals right now, but people who think that they should still be staying in due to COVID. We do have 8 senior centers throughout the county. We have senior centers in Perrysburg, Rossford, Walbridge, Pemberville, Wayne, North Baltimore, Bowling Green, and Grand Rapids. But once COVID shut down everything, those were things that had to be shut down. So we went specifically to all home delivered meals to keep those older adults who are the ones that are most susceptible to COVID safely in their homes. So, so when that hit, we had to kind of change gears and not only, you know, we were providing programs and meals to those senior centers. We went strictly home delivered meals. So, so that was a little challenging for all of us here. We all had to kind of come up with different duties and make sure that that we were still working our set hours. It was just things were a little different than they had been in the past. We're cupping up a lot more things, portioning out a lot more things. We put all of our cold stuff in meal bags, so that's taking a little longer because we were providing all bulk food to our seniors. So now we're having to make sure that everything goes out individually to those homebound seniors. I kind of went over why I chose this profession, I guess. And I'm looking through my notes, sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, so So the menu making is the biggest part of my job, and trying to make everybody happy every day with the menus that I make is not going to happen, as you probably know, in the school food service as well. But if I can make 90% of the people happy 90% of the time, I feel that I'm doing okay. My biggest problem with the menu making is the fact that we have clients in North Baltimore who are retired farmers who want the meat and potatoes still. But then we have the vegetarians up in the northern part of the county, and some even in Bowling Green, that are pushing me more to provide more vegetarian, more healthy entrees. And so I have that problem. And I was providing 2 meal choices every day, but then when COVID hit and we had to go to all home delivered meals, I went to just 1 entree. So it's even more difficult now to provide that, to make sure everybody's happy all the time. But I think a lot of their happiness comes from the fact that they're getting to see someone on a daily basis, and also the fact that they are receiving that hot lunch. Our meals are based on a 55-year-old male, but my majority of my clients, average client age is 80, and most of them are females because females live longer than men. So it is a lot of food. And the nice thing about it is with home delivered meals, they can keep them in their refrigerator and eat them throughout the day. They don't have to sit down and eat them all at once. So, so I have to sit down monthly and come up with menus to make my clients happy. And then I have to figure out how much I need to order for all of those people to ensure that we have enough food on hand to serve the 750 or so clients that we're serving every day. Dented cans are an issue because of the threat of foodborne illness in the dented cans. So it seems like I'm always ordering extra, which is not a good thing, but we do get credited for those extra cans and stuff. But it's, you know, just one of those other factors that I have to add in when I'm doing my job. And I did write down some just a little couple things, because I know a lot of people will say, why do I have to take this class? This isn't gonna mean anything when I finally go out into the real world. Yes, I have a food nutrition degree, but I use geography every day. I do all of the routing for my routes. I map them all out for my drivers, so I know that it's going to be the most efficient way possible to be delivering those meals. I definitely use math every day, figuring out how much food I need to order, figuring out recipes, whether I'm taking them up to the 750 or if we're batch cooking and I have to take them down a little bit. I do a lot on the computer with spreadsheets and things like that. We're using scan cards now, so I have to download these scanners every day and make sure that they match my paper route slips. And then with science, I'm doing a lot with recipes and things like that. So I do use a lot of the things that I learned in school, in high school and in college every day in my position. Okay. Do you have anything else you want me to go over, or any questions?
Yeah, we were gonna ask you some more questions today. So yeah, that's a great introduction, because that certainly covers a lot of the things that you do on a daily basis. I did not know that your job with goodness, 700 to 800 meals a week and stuff. That's very impressive. So, or is that a week or a day? Did I miss that?
That's a day.
That's a day. Wow, that's very impressive. So yeah, and obviously a very, big part of our community, because a lot of people are not able to get out, and obviously this is a different time period. And you had spoken a little bit already about it, but you had talked about how COVID has changed your job and how things are a little bit different than they were before things started last March. What are some other aspects of your job that have changed since the pandemic started?
We went to a non-contact delivery. Before, my drivers were able to go into the homes and chat with the clients. I always told them, don't spend any more than 5 minutes with a client, because the next person's still waiting for their lunch. And some of them will draw you in due to the fact that you might be the only person they see on a daily basis. But with that, we've went to a contact-free delivery. So we do ask that the client stay 6 feet away and either have a table or a chair or something where we can place the meal either right inside the door or right outside the door. But we still have to either see or hear the client in order to deliver the meal, because it's not only that hot meal that we're delivering, it's that daily well check to ensure that the client is safe.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that made me think of, we've been talking a lot about experience, even at, an 8th grade level, and things that we can start to kind of build our resume with. And so this is a great organization to consider, I think, for volunteer work. Is there opportunities for younger people to get involved with an agency like yours?
Sure. Once we open back up, we have evening meals on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at the BG site. And we're always looking for volunteer servers, because it's like a sit down type meal, and the servers would take the meal out to the older adult for dinner. And home delivered meals during the summer months, if your parents aren't working, there's always options to do that. I know Miss Schiniger delivered a few years ago for us in the summer. Nice. Yeah. So, there's always those options too. And during the summer months, we're always hurting for volunteers, because we do rely a lot on the BGSU students, and with them going back home or being, not in school, we always have openings available.
Okay, that's great. As I say, we've been trying to think of some volunteer opportunities for them to get a little more involved for high school here. So that's a fantastic thing. You had touched a little bit on this already, but we've been talking about also how can we use the knowledge that we're going to gain in high school to further ourselves with our professions later in life. And you had briefly touched on a few things that you said that you've used since your school days. What would you recommend if somebody was going into this profession? What are some courses or some things that they should definitely pay attention to as they enter high school?
Science classes are a big thing. With my dietetics degree, there are so many different opportunities that I had available, as far as I could have went into hospital, I could have went into long-term care. In my opinion, I chose the right profession though, because I work Monday through Friday. Hospitals and long-term care are usually there weekends and evenings as well. So in my opinion, I chose the right course as far as with my family and keeping my kids where they need to be when they need to be there. But as far as and like I said, math and computers, as far as spreadsheets are so important. I think in any profession right now, everybody's using spreadsheets as far as that goes.
Okay, very good. I'm going to pause and just see if the kids have some questions for you so far. So what questions do you have? Well, we're going to save that one for the end, but yeah. Questions you have so far? They're very attentive listeners today. I'm going to go back to a question I've been asking a few people as been interviewing the past 2 weeks. What are some things that you need to do, or let me rephrase that. You need to depend a lot on members of your team, volunteers, those kind of things to be successful in your career. What are some things that you have to do to be able to work together as a team to successfully deliver those meals and make sure that these people are taken care of?
I have 9 paid staff members here, and then I have one staff member off site. I have 4 drivers that come out of the kitchen every day to deliver meals to the different sites, and then also to deliver home delivered meals. So it's very important that we stay on a time frame as far as making sure my cooks come in at 6 o'clock in the morning. And by 10 o'clock, my trucks are pulling out, my drivers are pulling out of our garage with the meals loaded. So between 7 and 10, it's really crunch time for my staff to ensure that things are done so that the drivers can pull out, so that everybody can be on time, so that the older adults can receive their lunches on their normal scheduled time that they get them. So it's really, really important to work together. And I think if you can get along in a work environment, it's very important. And I'm not sure sometimes how to help that along. We have 3 full-time cooks who sometimes butt heads, and I always say that 3 people are always a problem. If you have 2 or if you have 4, you're okay. But but working together and knowing that that end product is going out to help someone, I think is the main what we look at as far as when we're working.
Okay, fantastic. The other question I was going to ask you in relation to food service is, obviously there's so many different careers within the food service industry that people can do. I mean, obviously your profession is a very important one. Could you talk a little bit about some of the other job opportunities that the kids would possibly be able to look into if they were doing food service?
Sure. Well, when I was in high school and all the way through college, I worked at Bob Evans here in Bowling Green. I started as a busser and I worked my way up to server. And I always told everyone I was making too much money as a waitress to switch jobs and to go into, like dietary or something at the hospitals. I honestly wish I would have, because I would have gained more experience in my profession, switching gears. But like a restaurant manager is something that food service people could go into. A position such as mine, like I said, I have 3 full-time cooks. I have 2 full-time drivers. I have 2 part-time drivers. I have someone that comes in to take care of the dishes and the cleaning and the floors and the trash and things like that for me. And then I have a food service manager who's in charge of all of the off-site individuals. So there's a lot of opportunities as far as that goes. But then like nursing homes and hospitals, even like Wood Lane Residential and places like that are having the group homes, they not only rely on people to take care of them, but those people that are taking care of them also have to have some food service knowledge because they're preparing meals for them. One of the neat things that I've always thought would be fun are food service inspectors. The people that go into the restaurants, the people that go into, come here and inspect to make sure that we are providing safe food to the people that we're serving.
Yeah, that is, I've often looked at those when they have those things on the news, they're grading restaurants and those kind of things. It would be interesting to be an inspector for some of those places. I think it'd also be a little frightening, but yeah. All right. I'll pause and see if they have some more questions for you. Maddie, go ahead. Good question. When you were, obviously they're at the 8th grade level right now. When you were in 8th grade, were you thinking about a position like this in the future, or what were you thinking about doing?
When I first entered college, actually, for career day, I don't remember if it was 7th or 8th grade, I went to follow my mom's boss for the day, and he was an attorney. I thought at that time I wanted to be a judge. But then when I got into high school, I realized I really didn't like government. So I probably need to find a different path. And I was very strong in my sciences. So I ended up going into biology in college. I didn't like looking through microscopes. So I thought, I need to find something else because this biology thing isn't working out for me either. So I think I was a sophomore in college when I went to the career assessment. I took a career assessment quiz. One of the things on it was a bus driver, which I thought was odd. and another one was dietitian or like nursing. And I'm not a blood person. I can't handle blood. So I looked into dietetics and I thought, with my strong science background, I thought it would be the right path for me. And it's turned out very well.
Yeah, that's great. That is a great response because we've talked a lot about how, they'll probably change their mind quite a bit over the next couple of years. And so it's nice to hear that somebody, obviously in your profession has considered different things as well. And now you found a good niche in your position and you feel that you're supposed to be doing that. So that's amazing. So other questions you want to ask? I could.
What safety courses do your chefs have to take?
Oh, okay. What food safety courses do your chefs have to take? I know Holly's family works in food service as well. So.
Okay. My employees are all Serve Safe certified, which is a 16-hour class for food safety. I had to go through some other courses in order we are inspected by Ohio Department of Agriculture, which is above the health department, our local health department. And the funny thing is, we're like right outside the health department's back door. We're on the county complex. But Ohio Department of Agriculture has to come to inspect us because they consider us wholesale because we're not serving anybody on site. So I had to take a lot of HACCP classes, which is hazard analysis, critical control point. So basically it's watching the food come in the back door and monitoring it until the end product. So, temperature taking and time control, making sure employees are washing their hands and that they're not sick. So I had to go above and beyond on that Serve Safe class and take some classes in Columbus to make sure that I was meeting specifications too.
Okay, that's a good question. Other questions? Evan, do you have a different one besides the one we're gonna ask? Okay, sounds good. Evan's very excited to ask you a question. But I think he has to ask at the end today, so. All right, okay, well, my final question, and then we'll let Evan ask this question, is that do you have any further advice for anybody who's thinking about going into this industry, tips or tricks that you would give them if they're considering doing this down the road?
I would say volunteer as much as you can, because I know resume building, even if you don't have a paid position, you can always put the people that you volunteered with down on your resume. And a lot of times that will look better for a new employer than paid employment. So volunteering and keeping your grades up and being active in whatever you're doing, whether it's they have a student dietetics association on campus, and I was involved with that when I was in college. Just staying active in your community and in your school and college.
Okay, that's great advice. I would say that's definitely something we can add to our resumes and stuff there. Speaking of resumes, here comes Evan's question. So go ahead, Evan. You can say it nice and loud for her.
Give me my reference for my resume.
You can put me down, Evan. I know you're a good kid.
I was very proud of him for thinking of that this morning. So yeah, so we are working on finishing those up. So that was a good question. So well, thanks, Mrs. Bradford. I really appreciate you joining us today and talking about your profession. And we really enjoyed watching the news clip. I'm glad that you sent that over. And thank goodness that you showed up that day. That was amazing. So thank you for sharing that with us as well.
Sure. Yep.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. Have a good day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.